Together we say, in gratitude, we offer this incense throughout space and time to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting careful efforts, wholehearted awareness, and the fruit of understanding, slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see everybody's faces, smiling faces. Let us stand and greet each other, and then we'll begin our chanting on page 8. Maybe 7. All right, we start with the 3 refuges. Page number 7. I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment,
the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to the Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware that the three jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion and to practice joy and equanimity. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly, so that understanding and compassion will flower, and I can help living beings be free from their suffering. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. And on the next page, on page 8, we will begin the Heart Sutra. Dhamma Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion from the deep practice of Prajna Paramita perceived the emptiness of all five skandhas and delivered all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance, no old age and death, nor extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering, no knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva holds on to nothing but Prajna Paramita. Therefore, the mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance, there is no fear. Away from all perverted views, one reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future, through faith in Prajna Paramita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the Prajna Paramita is the great Dharani, the radiant, fearless mantram, the utmost supreme mantram, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the Prajna Paramita. Gate, gate, kara gate, kara samgate, bodhisattva. Gate, gate, kara gate, kara samgate, bodhisattva. Gate, gate, kara gate, kara samgate, bodhisattva. The Maha Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. Please have a seat.
Welcome again, everyone in person, on Zoom and YouTube. It's good to see you. Good to see all of you here. Today, I'm going to be giving a teaching from the Numerical Discourses of the Buddha. It's a very large text, but the specific chapter or sutta I will be teaching on is the Kalama Sutra. And before I actually get into the teaching today, there was a question that we encourage anyone who has a question to put them in the Dana boxes. I think we have the papers on either end. And one was asking about the Prajna Paramita, the chant we just talked about, or we just recited. And the question was, what does the deep practice of Prajna Paramita mean? What does it mean to practice Prajna Paramita? Prajna is Sanskrit for wisdom. And wisdom, even though it's being taught by the Bodhisattva of compassion, it shows that compassion and wisdom go hand in hand. It's like two wings of a bird. You need to have wisdom and compassion in order to fly. And the Buddha would always teach that. So prajna is wisdom, and paramita means perfection of. So the perfection of, or the practice of, wisdom. And the deep practice just means to really embody it with your whole being. And so I just wanted to address that before I began my teaching on the Kalama Sutra. So again, if anyone ever has any questions, we definitely encourage you to put them in the Dana boxes. And then we try to answer them as best as we can. So the Kalama Sutra is maybe one of the more famous teachings of the Buddha. And every sutra, these were all orally transmitted for hundreds of years. And so they're very repetitive. And the person that really translated them who was listening to them all was Ananda, the Buddha's his foremost attendant, who would listen to every Dharma talk, and he had a photographic mind. He just memorized everything the Buddha taught. So every sutra that you read will begin, "So I have heard," or "Thus I have heard," just meaning these are the words that I heard from the Buddha. So that it begins very traditionally with "Thus I have heard." And the Buddha is traveling. He travels everywhere. Since his enlightenment, underneath the Bodhi tree, when he realized his enlightenment, he had gone to his first students, and then he moved on, and he would only stop during the rainy seasons. And at this time, the Buddha was traveling to Kasaputta, which was the land of the Kalamas. So each sutra that's named, or sutta, the Buddha, it's named after who he was talking to, what teaching he was giving to the people. And so we have the Kalama Sutta. And so the Buddha's going with all of his Sangha. He travels with a retinue. A bunch of his students are always following him and learning on the go. And the people see the Buddha and they say, that is the man from the Sakya clan, the Shakyamuni Buddha, and we recognize him for his great teachings. He is an enlightened being. It's good to see these beings here on this earth. And they're like, we want to ask him a question. And they all gathered by the Buddha. Some bowed, some greeted him with polite conversation, some held their hands up in praise, and some told them of their family name and who they were, and then others remained silent. But there was just a huge gathering of the Kalama people around the Buddha asking him. They say some teachers, some ascetics, some Brahmins. The Brahmin in the time of the Buddha was just the priests. So these teachers, these people are promoting their doctrine. They are explaining their own doctrine, and they say they are right. They're the only ones to listen to, and they disparage and denounce everyone else's teachings. And there's several teachers that have come through and told us about their teachings and how much better their teachings are than someone else's. And so we are in doubt. Who speaks the truth? Who speaks lies, falsehoods? And the Buddha listened very deeply. The Buddha was so good at listening. And he said, that is very understandable. Doubt has arisen in you. And so you should be doubtful because you're hearing all this one thing here and another thing here. And so he always kind of goes for the negatives, and then goes to the positives. So first he goes by the don'ts. Don't go by oral tradition. Don't go by lineage. Don't go by hearsay. Don't go by the scriptures. Don't go by logical reasoning. Don't go by inferential reasoning. Don't go by contemplative reasoning. And don't accept after consideration. Don't accept it out of competence. And don't even think that the teacher, or even myself, the Buddha, is our respectful teacher and I should listen to whatever he has to say. He goes on to say, know for yourself that this is unwholesome, blameworthy, it's criticized by sensible people, it leads to the harm and suffering, or then you would give them up. So he goes and then he continues, and because of the oral tradition, it keeps being repeated throughout the sutra of saying, don't go by oral tradition, don't go by lineage, don't go by all these outside factors because someone is important and thinks, oh, this is what needs to be done. Don't go by just the status. Don't go by just the tradition. Don't blindly follow it. What you need to do is ask yourself, is it unwholesome? Is it blameworthy? Is it criticized by sensible people? Does it lead to harm and suffering? And then if you come to the conclusion, yeah, then you give them up. And then he goes on saying, he asked each of the Kalamas, what do you think? When greed arises, is the person, is it for their welfare or harm? And all the Kalamas say, harm, sir. And then he continues on saying, a greedy person is overcome by greed. With mind obsessed by it, it destroys his life. He takes what is not given. He commits adultery. He speaks falsehood, lies. He encourages others to do the same. And that will lead to their harm and suffering. And so he asks all these things. He asks in question, and the Kalama say, yes, sir. And then he continues on, when hatred arises, is it for the person's welfare or harm? Harm, sir, they all reply. And then he goes on to say that if you're overcome by hatred, with your mind obsessed, it destroys your life, and it encourages others to do the same. And it goes from greed to hate to delusion. If Kalamas, if a person is deluded and it obsesses their mind, does it destroy their life? And encouraging others to do so, will it lead to their harm or suffering for a long time? And they say, harm, sir. And then he goes on to say, these things are unwholesome, blameworthy. Are these things unwholesome or wholesome? Unwholesome, sir. Blameworthy or blameless? Blameworthy, sir. Criticized by sensible people or praised? Criticized. And then it keeps going on, and all the greed, the hate, the anger. You need to really evaluate, is this good for me? Is this going to help other people out, or is it going to harm them? Is it going to harm myself? And so he's telling the Kalama people all about how to question, cross-question, and analyze things that should be done and shouldn't be done. And then he goes on to say, do not go by oral tradition, don't go by hearsay, don't go by the texts, don't even go by my own teachings. Ask for yourself. And so he says, then question about the wholesome things. Is this wholesome? Things that are blameless, things that are praised by the wise, things that are accepted and undertaken, led to welfare and happiness. Then you should live in accordance with them. What do you think, Kalamas? When a non-greed arises in a person, is it for their welfare or harm? Welfare, sir, they all reply. And the Kalamas, the Buddha says, a person without greed, not overcome by greed, in his mind, not obsessed by it, does not destroy life, does not take what is not freely given, does not commit adultery, does not speak falsehood. And he encourages others to do likewise. Now, will that lead to this person's welfare and happiness for a long time? They all reply, yes. Yes, sir. And then he goes on the opposite. So non-greed, non-hate, and then non-delusion or enlightenment. And so he continues on asking these questions, the same questions. Is it wholesome? Is it blameless? And is it praised by the wise? And they all say these good actions are praised. These will lead to our happiness and well-being for a long time. And so the Buddha explains these are the things we need to be doing if we want to. This is how you tell if someone is telling the truth or is lying, or if their teachings. There are so many different teachings. As long as they're wholesome, they're blameless. They promote life. They're kind. They're compassionate. Those are actions that should be undertaken. And so the next part he goes to say, he explains all this, and then he goes even further. This is what I said, and this is why I said it. And so he goes through the four noble abodes, or the four. There's loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. And I kind of want to read this word for word, because the Buddha goes into it with the sentence. He says, "It is because of this was said. Then Kalamas, the noble disciple or the student, who is thus devoted to longing, devoid of ill will, unconfused, clearly comprehending, ever mindful, dwells pervading one quarter with a mind imbued with loving kindness, with a mind imbued with compassion, with a mind imbued with altruistic joy or sympathetic joy, with a mind imbued with equanimity. Likewise, the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. So your whole being is filled with loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, joy for others. When you think of sympathetic joy, you think of you are happy for someone else's happiness, and you can really feel for them when they are sad, and you support them. And then equanimity is that balance. So you're imbued with these four characteristics: vast, exalted, measureless, without enmity, without ill will. The noble student, Kalamas, whose mind is this way, without enmity, without ill will, undefiled and pure, has won 4 assurances in life. So there's these 4, in one translation, it's assurances in this one, and the other one that I've read, it's consolation prizes. So I thought that was interesting. So there's these 4 things that a noble disciple will get. Say if there is a heaven, if there is a better place after we die, then we've done good acts. We will be reborn in a heavenly realm. And then the second consolation prize is if there is no heaven or hell, or there is no other thing after this life, then you will be content in this life and free of ill will and enmity in this life, and that'll be enough. And then the third consolation prize is if bad deeds are punished and there is a hell, you're not doing any bad deeds, so you won't go there. So that is the third consolation prize. And the fourth is if there is no hell and that you can't be punished for evil deeds, you're not doing them anyways, you're content, and so you don't have to worry about that. And so all the Kalamas are rejoicing, and they are very, very glad that they heard these teachings and that they can understand what's unwholesome, what is wholesome, what is skillful and what is unskillful, what is blameworthy and what is blameless. And they all bow to the Buddha, and they ask to be a student, to be lay students, and they are just they tell them that they will seek refuge in the Buddha, in the Dharma, and in the Sangha, the 3 jewels, and they will be lifelong students. And so that ends the sutra. And the reason this sutra really is always called out to me, the first time I ever heard this sutra, is just knowing that in a lot of places you go, you're told this is the way, the only way, and just listen to this because it says it in the good book, or in it, that's my teaching. And in this teaching, the Buddha says, don't just go by something blindly. Don't follow it just because it's in a book or because a respected teacher said it. Even myself, you need to analyze it, cross-analyze it, and see, is this good? And so something we can do in our own practice is really asking those questions. Is it skillful? Is what I'm doing skillful or unskillful? Is it unwholesome or wholesome? Is it going to be helping somebody, or is it going to be harming somebody? Is it going to be harming me? Or is it going to be helping me? So it seems really simple, but a lot of times it's like we're on autopilot in our lives and we don't ask these questions. That's a reason the Buddha really emphasized meditation and how to meditate, how to calm your mind, and to kind of digest your thoughts, digest your emotions, and really be with them. In the Buddhist teachings, he says when doubt arises, when an emotion arises, you accept it. It's arisen in you. You are experiencing this and feel that, but don't let it control you. And ask questions. Always ask questions. The Buddha always encouraged questions, and that's how he taught. He taught through questions, asking them what is good and what is bad, or wholesome, unwholesome. So many different words you can use for just what is right and what is wrong. And of course, there are gray areas. There's no black and white. So really evaluating, what is your intention behind the action? What is your thought? Why are you performing this? Why are you doing what you're doing? And this is a very contemplative practice. Really, your experience. This is very experiential practice. There are many tools, chanting, malas. There's many different teachings, and that's why there's so many. Like, this is only one of many large texts that of the Buddha's teachings. And the Buddha met people where they were at. When they had a question, he tried to really engage and be able to meet that person and really get them to understand what he's telling them through parables, through stories, through teachings, through questions. And so the Buddha continued to travel and meet people where they were at, and different teachings help different people. And so here we try to meet the Sangha where they are at. And there are a lot of questions with what is right and what is wrong. And so with this, the wholesome, the unwholesome, seeing things for where they are at, and really engaging and your senses, your six senses. Your mind is your sixth sense, your thoughts. And that's the importance of the meditation, to really integrate all of your senses, all of your experiences throughout the day, and digest them. So with the Kalama Sutra and the Buddha explaining to the Kalama people, this is what you do. You don't go by all these other, you don't go by oral tradition. You don't go by the texts. You don't go by even logic. You just see them and ask if they're wholesome, unwholesome, and so on throughout the hatred, unhatred, or non-hatred, greed, non-greed, delusion, or non-delusion. And so with that, we can prepare ourselves for meditation. And I think I will go through a loving kindness meditation this morning. It'll be mostly silent, but I'll do a few prompts. When the Buddha gave the teaching on the Kalama Sutra, he said to emanate loving kindness, emanate compassion throughout the 10 directions, and emanate sympathetic joy and equanimity. And so going through those 4 immeasurables, we will start with ourselves. May I be well. May I be at ease. May I be free from suffering. May I be happy. And then, like a ripple effect, will go throughout. And I'll just prompt that as we go. May I be well. May I be at ease. May I be free from suffering. May I be happy. May the person next to me be well. May the person next to me be at ease. May the person next to me be free from suffering. May the person sitting next to me be happy. May everyone in this building be well. May everyone in this building be at ease. May everyone in this building be free from suffering. May everyone in this building be happy. May my parents be well. May my parents be at ease. May my parents be free from suffering. May my parents be happy. May my grandma and grandpa be well. May my grandma and grandpa be at ease. May my grandmother and grandfather be free from suffering. May my grandma and grandpa be happy. May all my friends and family be well. May all my friends and family be at ease. May all my friends and family be free from suffering. May all my friends and family be happy. May everyone in Grand Rapids be well. May everyone in Grand Rapids be at ease. May everyone in Grand Rapids be free from suffering. May everyone in Grand Rapids be happy. May everyone in the state of Michigan be well. May everyone in Michigan be at ease. May everyone in Michigan be free from suffering. May everyone in Michigan be happy. May my acquaintances, people who I don't know very well, or people who are indifferent to me, be well. May they all be at ease. May they be free from suffering. May they be happy. May the people who annoy me, who get on my nerves, and who I dislike, may they all be well. May they be at ease. May they be free from suffering. May they be happy. May the hateful, greedy, the dictators of the world, the people who are just downright evil, may they all be well. May they be at ease. May they be free from suffering. And may they be happy. May everyone in the United States be well. May they all be at ease. May they be free from suffering. May they be happy. May everyone on this planet be well. May everyone on this planet be at ease. May everyone on this planet be free from suffering. May everyone on this planet be happy. May every being in the 6 realms and the 10 directions be well. May every being in the 6 realms and the 10 directions be at ease. May every being in the 6 realms and the 10 directions be free from suffering. May every being in the 6 realms and the 10 directions be happy. Let me bow. I just have one important announcement before we begin announcements. As some of you may know, Hung Su has put in his retirement, and so he is stepping away from a lot of responsibilities here, and he asked us to read his letter. Let me get that up real quick. Statement from Hung Su. The Heart Sutra is of supreme importance. There's a reason it's the temple's foundational scripture. The Buddha said, we will never know the ultimate truth while stuck in the cycle of samsara. But while in this cycle, the nearest we can come to truth is contained within the Heart Sutra. My last advice as your teacher is to recite the sutra once each day, preferably in the morning before you begin your work and studies. Examine the words. Strive and understand that emptiness does not mean nothingness. Sit with that word. Study that word. Come to know it within a Buddhist context. Strive to understand why compassion and not wisdom shared the glorious sutra. As you come to an understanding of the Heart Sutra, the practice will be enriched and deepened. I leave you in the peace of the compassionate Buddha, Hung Su, Abbot Emeritus of the Grand Rapids Buddhist Temple. Thank you, Hung Su, teacher to all of us. And we'll go on to announcements for this month, September. It's already halfway through September. The next Radical Dharma Book Club will actually be next month, October, the first Wednesday of October. Next week, if I'm not mistaken, next weekend we'll have the Grand Rapids Board of Directors meeting, and that's open to anyone in the Sangha. And they meet at the fourth Sunday of each month. Buddhist-based recovery meetings happen here every Monday at 6:30 to 7 to 8. There's more details on our website, but Wednesday they happen at the North on College, and then on Fridays, I want to say they're back in the park. Yes, they're still in the park. Okay. And all that information can be found on the website, or if you have any questions, you can come to me. I facilitate most of the correspondence with that. Is there any other announcements?
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jake. It's my turn to do the Dana announcement. So Dana is the Buddhist practice of generosity. This temple is run entirely on the generosity of the people who attend and are invested in letting this temple do the good that it does. No one here collects a paycheck. No one here is compensated in any way. So if you want to practice Dana, there are a few ways you can do that. For those watching on YouTube, there's a drop-down arrow. I don't know, somewhere low down. I don't know. You'll see it. Yeah, you can donate there. There are Dana boxes at either entrance where you can leave cash, check, whatever. There's also Amazon Smile. So if you shop on Amazon, if you designate, isn't it Rapids Buddhist Temple? Amazon will donate a percentage of whatever you purchase from their profits to the temple. So it's at no cost to you. And if you donate your time, there's always a need for people to help clean the temple and help keep this place running. So yeah, I think that's it. Right? All right, that's all I got.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, all. Early on in our temple, we had a person, Alicia, and she literally took a ruler and measured the distance between each mat and cushion. She'd line up the fronts of each room exactly. I'm not asking all of you to get out a ruler, all right? But it is really important to come into the temple to see order and neatness, so that it's so neat that you don't really even see it. So the fronts of the cushions all line up because they're a little bit different size. The tag go to the back. The handles on the cushions go to the back. Nice and neat, about 6 inches apart. And there's once a month where we take them all out, right?
Mhm.
But other than that, when we leave them here, all the gray chairs go downstairs, and then we have nice, neat black chairs up front. So make it so we don't notice it. The other thing, we have a couple of cardboard boxes right outside the door. And I peeked in it, and there's some shoes and other things. Does anybody know anything about why that's here?
Wondering the same thing.
Well, we'll probably collect them and give them away. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jiangsu. All right. Any other announcements? Together we say, for all unskillful actions ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, now I atone for them all. Vast is the road of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddhist teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings. All beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless blind passion, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to penetrate. The great way of Buddha, I vow to attain. And then, as tradition, we will bow to each other. The Sangha split in the middle. And face each other, and we bow to each other. Thank you all for being here. If you want to just collect the booklets, we have tea downstairs, and feel free to come downstairs and greet each other, and have a great day. Thank you for being here.